Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. Now in this video we saw a little bit of something interesting over here where Microsoft and Xbox themselves made a little bit of an oopsie going on over here where they made a massive, huge, big issue in regards now to one of their big Activision acquisition kind of big legal documents. Now, if you guys may or may not know, I'm sure you guys know that right now there's been this ongoing, basically, Xbox acquisition going on with, Call of Duty, basically these other various types of games. And obviously when it comes to this stuff, there's a lot of big court legal documents where it's like, hey, we attested this, objection, new motions, overruled, all of that type of stuff, where basically all these big legal departments are arguing their cases to see if something will be like constitutional or not, or if it kind of sticks with like acquisition laws or bankruptcy laws or however it might be when it comes to being in court. And obviously you usually want to be right because you're paying these lawyers thousands of dollars an hour at some times to basically make sure your case is as strong as possible because you're going to be spending $70 billion. So spend a few $1,000,000 to make sure your law is good and you're not breaking any laws or have any huge fines. It's probably worth it at the end of the day. But it does seem like Microsoft and Xbox actually messed up really bad with their ongoing court documents. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that their whole court case is going to be gone or anything like that, but when I read this and I read this article and I saw the proof of this, I was kind of sitting there like, ooh, ooh, when I saw this. So we're talking about this, talking about this goofy thing, and well, we're going to bring up The Rock, yes, The Rock himself, on this video. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for all the gaming news and all that. Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to follow and join us over there. Of course, the Target Amazon links too for consoles. And let's go and talk about the fact that Microsoft messed up big in court and actually called the FTC itself literally unconstitutional and then literally regretted the error and had to go and apologize for everything that they put in their ongoing court documents. So the Xbox parent company says it should have dropped some of the specific language that we're going to show you guys throughout this video in their lawsuit in their response to claiming that the FTC itself violated the Constitution. Jesus. So basically, as of today, so more so yesterday, as the news kind of been flown around, Microsoft filed a revised response to the United States Federal Trade Commission. They had to literally revise this, intended to stop the tech giant from buying up Call of Duty publisher Activision. The initial filing contained multiple arguments claiming that the FTC itself and its court system were literally unconstitutional. But now Microsoft basically had to yank out that language itself out of the doc and then had to go and kind of backtrack and be like, whoa. That was a mistake. Just because you know your average oopsie of calling a large government agency like basically unconstitutional. That's like basically going to like the Senate itself and be like, this is unconstitutional. Or like talk about the IRS or, something along those lines for just like, layman's terms. And I think Microsoft was like, whoa. Once you start getting the Constitution, you go get that Supreme Court involved and you're basically trying to make them like you and kind of like your pitch and idea so you can go and take this Activision acquisition underway. Yeah, they kind of messed up got big. So last year, Microsoft announced its plans to consume, Call of Duty and World of Warcraft publisher Activision Blizzard for $70 billion. But since then, they've been this big back and forth for the legal battle between government agencies, regulatory committees, investigations, and also all these other big companies kind of going against it. Think Sony or Apple, etc. This massive deal would actually give Microsoft a big unfair advantage on monopoly law and all of that. And of course, they've had a lot of filing docs and responses and court paperwork to make it happen. So in a press release put out by the FTC last month, the agency announced a lawsuit against the merger and reasoned that Microsoft would be able to stifle its competitors by making games like, an Xbox exclusive or only on Game Pass and kind of ruining streaming and all of that. So basically, Microsoft fought back via a response that contained a lot of arguments, including the assertion of the FTC it was actually fully unconstitutional. However, as reported by Axios, Microsoft actually refiled this and they realized we probably shouldn't be going and calling these big government bodies that are supposed to be on our side or trying to sway them on our side literally unconstitutional. That's probably one of the most insulting words you can possibly go and use in a court. That's messing up. That's not doing good. So they basically then, as they resubmitted this, omitted this huge section arguing that the FTC's lawsuit was invalid because the structure of the commission as an independent agency that wields significant executive power violates Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. In that, the same section of the original filing, but also Microsoft also argued that the lawsuit and the legal proceedings being carried out by the FTC were invalid because of the FTC's basically big issues with the Constitution. So it's the official complaint violated Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution. Oh, and then Microsoft's legal team also claimed that the FTC's procedures violated the company's right to equal protection under the Fifth Amendment. Like, this is like one of the craziest court docs we've seen in terms of this whole entire case as well. Because like I said, these people are basically they're literally quoting the U.S. Constitution. Now, I haven't been in school for a long time, but that's kind of like the standard of like morals and laws when it comes to all of this. So if you have the Microsoft themselves both saying and kind of quoting the Constitution, but then also kind of saying and quoting, hey, you are not involved in this because the Constitution's like invalid on this part, you can kind of see how it's like a 50-50, where it's like one article is trying to say, yes, you messed up because of the Constitution. Another one, Constitution doesn't exist. It's kind of like one of those like things in very layman's terms. So basically, they're trying to say that this was invalid, and the FTC's official complaint violated all these arguments and stuff like this. They also claim for the procedures violated the company's right to equal protection underneath the Fifth Amendment, and it's crazy because this is going huge on the legal side. So with all this being gone and all that one, basically Microsoft had to go and apologize because they're having now their PR folks coming on in over here stating and like kind of talking to the public that they literally had to backtrack this and apologize, saying the FTC has an important mission to protect competition and consumers. Bear in mind, as you guys just heard, they're basically calling out the FTC, calling them unconstitutional, and this is where Microsoft's like, whoa, we should probably like get some PR on this, try to backtrack this. We don't want the government itself not hating Xbox in general. Like, they're literally insulting the government. Like, they're literally calling out the government at this point. And basically they said they updated their response to omit language suggesting otherwise. Based on the Constitution, Microsoft Public Affairs spokesperson David Cuddy told Axios, we initially put all potential arguments on the table internally, and then we probably should have dropped those after calling these people unconstitutional. Microsoft says it appreciates all the feedback it received about its arguments, claiming the FTC itself was unconstitutional, and they are engaged directly with those who express concerns. Like, just the words, you guys know that someone in Microsoft is probably getting fired. Either someone on legal or someone in general for not proofreading this, because no company goes and apologizes after filing a court doc to the person they're filing against it. Like, this is insane. So they did say they're engaging directly with those who express concerns to make the company's position on the matter clear. In other words, the FTC probably didn't take too kindly to being called unconstitutional, and as I mentioned throughout this video, which is why it's hilarious, you probably shouldn't anger the people suing you and trying to stop your whole big merger from happening. And as well, this is just, this was a big, huge mess up. And I'm not sure how much that would actually affect the case or not, but that definitely takes away probably a little bit of goodwill, and I'm sure some lawyers are sitting there reading this, feeling insulted, and well, being like, who does Microsoft think they are? So, like I said, with how fast they responded on PR responses saying like, hey, no, the FTC is cool, it's definitely not unconstitutional, yeah, this is not going to be good, I think, for Microsoft. But it might be actually good if you're a Microsoft investor, though. For some reason, The Rock was going viral yesterday in regards of like how they revealed the original Xbox from Microsoft with Bill Gates and The Rock itself. And apparently, if you guys would have invested $1,000 into Microsoft, you would have actually at this point have around $9,000. Kind of intriguing to know. So as I mentioned, there's been a lot of really big virality going on where basically Microsoft unveiled the, obviously, Xbox itself back in January 6th of 2021. Where basically The Rock and Bill Gates went out here publicly and unveiled the actual console
Xbox
itself.
Is everything The Rock is. Cutting it.
Well, we can see Xbox is everything The Rock is. It's almost kind of weird to see The Rock, like, number one, not as big, but also, two, just, like, older at this point. I know he's been around for a while, too. It's kind of crazy. But basically, it's just the overall video of them kind of releasing and talking about the Xbox, that kind of deal. Like, here's Bill Gates himself.
What The Rock would be like if he were only running on 1/5 of his power?
Well, I would think that...
It doesn't matter what you think, Bill.
It doesn't matter what you think, and that's what the FTC thinks too. So basically, this was kind of like a nice, cute viral clip of like The Rock, you know, unveiling the consoles and all of that. And it's just cool because it just kind of gives some nice, wholesome vibes and letting people know about the origin. And it's kind of cool that we even have these memories of the initial first consoles coming out in general. Like, I think it's really nice to see. But like I said, if you guys were someone who ever put in any money as of Jan 8th, when it was first, you know, being revealed, and obviously if you care about Microsoft and Office and all the other products, the hosting, you would have actually had $9,000 as of today. So basically, it was a 36% return, which is not overall too bad. If you compare it to the S&P, it's basically a 9% gain over a year and a 196% gain over the same exact time period. So very nifty and fun to go and see this one. So give me your thoughts and comments on this big Microsoft oopsie. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, follow the Twitter and Twitch stream if you guys would like. And of course, we have the Amazon links and Target links too down below. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. for the, I guess, I don't know, in general.